we got some new things to unbox. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the last couple of videos. A lot of fishing at our tournament at Sokus, and also got to catch a personal best at Door Shack Reservoir along with Jeff Little, who caught a 7-pound smallmouth. Crazy. But it's time to finally get back to working on the kayak. I got a whole bunch of packages here from Boonedox, some stuff that I need to add to the kayak. It's about that time of the year where, you know, I ran the kayak and realized that there might be some things that could be changed or some things could be added. So that's pretty much what we have here today. We got a couple of things. So I think it's time to get these boxes opened up. We're going to start with the bigger box and then work our way to the smaller ones. Time to dive into it. So first off, we got something pretty cool that I've been needing for a while. Dang. Big shout out to Boonedox for doing a good job packaging their stuff. So first off, we have their mount that holds the Hobie 360 drive. This is something I've been needing because I honestly just put my 360 drive anywhere that I can find space. Now for all my people who also own a 360, you already know that a lot of times you can bend up these fins, which you don't want to do, but also in the pedals themselves there's an elastic band that makes it go back in place, and if you kind of put it in places where this is bent for too long, sometimes that can break or come loose, and then this will never go back to where it's supposed to be. So that's where this comes along, and I believe, you know, you just put it in like this, locks into the little 2 slots on the side, and that'll hold your drive. Simple as that. Just mounts to the wall. I gotta find a place to put this, but before we do that, let's open up the rest of the stuff. So another thing that I'm trying out is the Boonedox Groovy Console. So this is a replacement for that H-rail mount that you guys probably saw I did with my kayak. Wanted to try something a little bit different. So here it is. I actually got 2 of them. This was like a pre-production one. I've had this for a while and it did not have the hole slotted on the bottom. So I do have a different one that is made for the Pro Angler. Of course, a bunch of parts that comes with it. These are the brackets that mounts to the kayak. Let's move this out of the way and open up the rest. Now, and this one should be the correct Groovy Console for my kayak. So I will actually be giving this one to a buddy of mine because that is what Boonedox told me to do. What the? It's like a magic trick, you just never runs. Okay, so yeah, this is the correct one. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare, but this one actually has some slots here so that you can adjust it side to side. Let me open this thing. So yeah, Groovy Console has tracks up top so you can mount your graphs and other accessories. So this works with all the Yak Attack little T-tracks, and then like I said, underneath you have this big slot so you can adjust the width, and yeah, it makes it super easy to mount on whatever kayak. The other one did not have that, again, because it was a pre-production model. But yeah, this is what it is right there, Groovy Console. I'm gonna try it out. Yeah, it'll be nice to definitely not have to use Yak Attack H-rail dual mounts to kind of mount accessories and stuff. I can just literally slap on those Yak Attack accessories, call it good. And then to add to that, Jeff also gave me these when we met up. So Jeff, sales manager for Boonedox, he gave me this. So these are some new products. This is a plier and hook holder. So I'm gonna put this on the front, see how I like it. Worst case scenario, move this to other parts of the kayak. But I figure I'll keep everything together for the aesthetic. Then the last piece of the puzzle, I'm gonna apologize, I don't know the name of it, but basically, you know, a lot of times we catch fish, we set our rods on the bow, towards the bow of the kayak. This is actually a good place to rest it, or you can even rest your net on this as well. So this goes exactly on here like so. So you just screw it down with that Yak Attack T-track, and then you can rest your rod on it. This will be nice because I couldn't tell you how many times, especially for spinning rods, hold up, you would obviously rest this on your bow and your line underneath gets pinched. Well, when you're using 6-pound, 8-pound line, fluorocarbon, that can put nicks in it. So obviously we don't want that to happen. Probably a little precautious, but honestly, all the precautions I can take on the water, the things that I can control, I'm gonna do it, and that accessory would be nice. But yeah, those are some of the new accessories that I'm gonna be adding to the kayak. I need to break down my current setup, and then we can install these ones. Okay, well, we got our old bow mount off, our custom little H rail, and man, it does look pretty naked without it. But I guess if you're new here, this is my kayak, Hobie Pro Angler 14360 Hike Edition, on a custom Snake River Lockers trailer that is made in Idaho. But yeah, we got that thing off, and on the table we have both of them side by side. So pretty much I already went ahead and started putting the screws into the risers, and then obviously we got this. I honestly did not look at instructions, so I'm gonna assume this is the way to do it, and you know what, we're gonna find out together. Should be pretty easy. Alright, so we kind of got the risers marked up where I want it to go. I'm going to try to keep my 0.1 antenna for my Lowrance unit right there. So this is about where I kind of got it lined up right now. Again, you don't want this thing too far forward or you're not going to be able to open your hatch. You think about all your cords coming out the back. If you put a graph there, obviously if you don't, you can definitely move this more forward. But for me, I do have a dedicated graph that will go up there. So this will get mounted there. Everything pretty much right now is just loose. Obviously I can shift it. But now I took the hardware out from the Groovy Console. Now we just got to line it back up and then make sure we put the bolts right through the little T-track, and then we can finish adjustments. Alright guys, well, the Groovy Console is on, and I mean, this thing is solid. Like, I probably can pick up the whole kayak with that thing. Probably should have mounted the bar to the risers first instead of last, but it still worked out either way. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have any issues putting these in because of, you know, weird angles and stuff. But yeah, she looks good. So now we can add our accessories. I need to figure out how to still mount my graph to here, but overall, I mean, it looks good. As you guys know, I kind of like simple colors other than obviously red, but I do like that black look. That looks super clean. All right, figured out what I'm gonna do. So got my graph mount right here for my Elite FS9. Got some Yak Attack Mighty Bolt T-bolts, 2 of them, and they're duplicated on each side. Got nylon washer to give it a little bit of space, and if it's perfectly in these existing holes right here. And then I got a lock nut and then a nut. I don't like using a wing nut because realistically, if I'm gonna take this off, I'm gonna pull the whole graph off from the sides, and this is just gonna stay with the kayak. So this is just something a little bit extra so that someone doesn't just twist it and pop it off. Now, obviously it's not a whole bunch, but they're gonna have to find the right socket to take this off, and usually people won't go out of their way. So that's how we're gonna mount it. Slides on just like that. I'm just gonna put these snug and then figure out where the center is. But I decided to run it on the front bolts because I don't like it sticking out too far forward. I don't want to get in the way of the pedals. And then it's a good distance where I don't have to worry about like not being able to open the hatch. Nice thing about my graph is I usually have it tilted slightly, so those cords don't really stick out the back. And this about sits right where my last front bow mount was, so it sits pretty good. I like it. It looks much cleaner to me up front with it being like that as well. So we're just gonna snug these up and then figure out where the center is. So it looks like about 12 inches, and we'll tighten these up. Yeah, definitely not going anywhere, knocking things off the kayak. Yeah, I think that's going to run my graph setup, and then my wiring, I'll probably tuck it up underneath, have it sticking up like this, probably zip tie it so that it's a little bit cleaner. And like I said, the graph will just go right on. So definitely realized that this is a little bit higher than my previous mount, so I did tilt it down just slightly. Now we can just add some of these other accessories, right? So maybe we'll add the rod stager. I usually put my rods on this side, so we'll tuck this guy on this side, and again, just simple easy stuff right there. Boom, rod stagers there, and then on the other side, most likely that's where I'll mount this. To make things clean, they have these end caps, obviously, to just plug there. You can hide that bare metal. Boom, right there, we got everything installed. Alright guys, took a little bit of a break. It was getting hot in the garage, but now the sun has gone down, so we got a little bit better lighting, but we're pretty much done. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So as you can see, we got everything all mounted. Like I said, dude, this thing is freaking solid. Like, this is not gonna go anywhere. I don't gotta worry about any of this moving. Like, for me, I like to have everything mounted, even when I'm trailing on the highway. So every mount that I use needs to be solid, and this Boonedox Groovy Console is that. But yeah, this is pretty much how it is going to sit. I might play around with, you know, moving some of the accessories left to right, stuff like that, but for now, this is pretty much how I'm going to have it. For the back, we got the wiring tidied up, got it zip tied to the mount. I did not use all 4 holes. This is not a heavy graph. It is more than enough strength to keep that thing there. So it just kind of tucks and then runs all the way down. And then the rod stager, obviously rod goes there. You can fit multiple rods, but for me, I always put my rod here just because I know obviously if I caught a fish, I'm probably going to use that rod again. But if you think about it, that line sits right there on the bottom. That's banging against this corner the whole time of whatever mount you're using. That is going to put some dents in it, and we definitely don't want that happening. So that's a nice little addition from Boonedox. And then on this side, obviously, we have the lure holder. I think that's the name. I apologize, Boonedox, but got my Bubba scissors right there, my little snips, and then you can obviously hang baits and stuff and all that. So I got that there. I'm probably gonna add my roto grip right here, just so I can keep my net here. When I go in rough water, I do like to have the roto grip, so that's a nice thing. Boonedox and Kayak actually do work together on some of their components, obviously some of the T-tracks, T-bolts, all that. So it's super neat that everything is compatible with each other. But yeah guys, that's going to be my new bow setup for my Hobie Pro Angler for the rest of the season. Again, a big thank you to Boonedox for sending that out to me. Of course, Jeff Little. Now for the Mirage Drive mount, I still got to figure out a place to put that in the garage. I really do not have too much space. I'm trying to keep all the fishing stuff on this side, so I'll keep you guys updated where I put that. Either way, I'll give you guys an update on that later. But yeah, I'm excited. This is just part 1. We got part 2 coming up of redoing the kayak. I got a big update for this, and we're gonna totally change the look of it. I'll keep you guys guessing what's to come. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. I got you on the next one. Peace.